This is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. Our news time is now 8:45, and it's time now for an interview segment presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Of course, one of the great organizations helping out the animal community in Indiana County is, of course, Four Footed Friends. And we have on the line with us Jeanne Stelmark, who is the director of Four Footed Friends. Jeanne, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Now, are you new to the position, or have you been there for a while?
I have been a volunteer and then in different positions for multiple years. I've only been the director for about a year.
Okay, so you've had a pretty difficult first year going through everything with the COVID-19 pandemic. So how are things over at Four Footed Friends?
Well, I'm happy to report that things are very stable at Four Footed Friends. The unfortunate thing is that we are not open to the public right now, so we don't have people coming in to visit with our animals, but we are still having all of our adoptions. Once someone is approved for adoption, we schedule an appointment for that individual or that family to come in and meet the dogs or the cats they may be interested in. We're following all the CDC guidelines with mask wearing and social distancing and taking temperatures and all of that. And we're very happy to report that our adoption numbers have not dropped drastically during the pandemic.
That's actually quite a shock, because you do hear of other places, other businesses seeing business go down. I guess people are wanting to, have a companion that they need to kind of help de-stress during these very stressful times. And I think a good pet, especially an adopted one, might be the best friend that they could get.
That's for sure. And one of the things that we have shared with all the adopters is that if you are home because you're not working because of the pandemic, or you're working from home, or you're going to school from home, you still have to get your pet accustomed to being alone. Because what we are really afraid of is when the pandemic ends and everybody goes back to what their normal lives were like, these dogs and cats are not going to be used to being left alone, and you may see a lot of behavioral issues and anxiety because their people are not with them. So we're really trying to encourage people to teach their pets that it's okay to be alone and, have them be able to be by themselves without being anxious.
Okay. How do you do that?
Well, a good way is to, if you're talking about a dog, a really good way is to crate train your dog. Have him get used to going in his safe place, which can be a crate, or it can be a dog bed, or it can be just a different room. Give him something to occupy his time. Let him be by himself, not right where you are all the time. You start that for very short periods of time, a minute, 5 minutes, and have him get comfortable with being out of your sight and knowing that everything's okay. And you just keep extending those times until they can get more comfortable. Basically the same thing with cats. Cats are usually not as difficult as dogs. They will go and find their own spot.
Right.
But some cats are very needy. And again, just, put them in their own room and let them have time in there with their food and their litter box and not be looking for you.
Right. When you mentioned cats, and I always seem to think of cats as being very much the independent creature, because at least with my mom's cats, they always seem to be like, we don't need you to do anything except make sure there's food in our dish, and other than that, leave us alone, But it's interesting that there are needy cats, and we think of pets needing us. We don't think of the psychological issues when it comes to pets a lot of the time.
That's exactly true, and a lot of behavioral issues come out of the psychological problems that the dog or the cat may be facing. And that's why you want to try to be proactive and, address things before they become a problem.
Let's talk about now the people who might have received a pet for Christmas. I mean, one of the things that people keep thinking about is, seeing the dog or the cat underneath the tree with a bow on it, and it's very cute. But you have to understand that if you're giving a dog or a cat as a pet, it is a lifetime commitment.
Absolutely. you need to expect that kitten or puppy or even an adult animal that you have adopted for the holiday is going to be with you for maybe the next 15 years. And they might be really cute on Christmas morning sitting under the Christmas tree, but it is such a commitment, and you and the entire family have to be on board with the training and the care that this animal requires. That's one of the reasons that we really discourage people from surprising someone with a pet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do adoptions that way. What we do encourage people to do is they have their application submitted and they are approved, and we ask them to make a certificate or a card and give it to that person for the holiday, a promise to bring them into the shelter and let them pick their own pet.
Ah, that's actually a good way around it.
Yeah, it's a really good way. You know, you can. A lot of people are very creative with it too. They will buy the things that the owner is going to need, like a litter box, a cat bed, a dog bed, some toys,
mm-hmm.
and put that under the Christmas tree with the promise that, you know, you are going to get a dog or a cat from the shelter. We're going to go and you're going to meet and you're going to pick the pet that you want.
We're talking with Jeanne Stelmark, who is the director of Four-Footed Friends here on Indiana in the Morning. And Jeanne, let's talk about a big donation that just came into Four-Footed Friends. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Absolutely. We're very happy to report that the reason we are able to do the public service announcements that you have been broadcasting for us is because we had a previous volunteer whose name was Diane Turline. She passed away, and in her memory, her brother and sister-in-law have created the Diane Turline Memorial Foundation. And as part of that foundation, they have donated money to Four-Footed Friends and also donated money so that we can do these public service announcements and educate the public about some of the important pet-owning features that people should know. Things like how important it is to get a license for your dog. Got to remind everybody of that. You know, January 1st is coming up. It is the Pennsylvania law that you must license your dog.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have a license for your dog and your dog is picked up because it got away and is running, you can be fined for not having a licensed dog. The other reason for licensing your dog is if your dog does get away, this license is going to help your dog find its way back to you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because somebody will pick it up, they'll see that license, and they'll say, okay, need to take this over here to this address.
Mm-hmm. All you need to do is call the county treasury number that is on the license, and they can put you in touch with the dog owner, and the dog can get back home safely.
That is absolutely, and that's absolutely necessary. And as you said, it's very convenient too to just call the office there and get that number taken care of. So, talk about Diane. Did you get a chance to work with her in your time?
I did not. Unfortunately, I do not remember her. It was several years ago that she was a volunteer, and I believe she also may have volunteered at the Humane Society.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she was always into animal causes then?
Yes, absolutely. And her family knew that they could, make a donation, and they could do something like have a plaque on the wall or her name on a bench or something like that, but they wanted to do something that was more live and that would keep her name out there.
All right, excellent. So let's talk about what Four-Footed Friends needs now. I mean, with the holiday season now cycling through, coming up on the start of the year, I'm sure that Four-Footed Friends would want to get their year started off on the right note.
Absolutely, and because of the pandemic, we have not been able to have our normal fundraisers. So we've been very limited in the money that we have brought in through things like our basket parties and our raffles and all of that. So more than anything, we welcome monetary donations right now because we really have received a lot of really nice Christmas gifts from the public, both for our dogs and cats, and lots and lots of cleaning supplies, which was very high on our Christmas wish list. What we really need now is the money to pay our vet bills. Especially at this time of year, we seem to get so many injured animals in that require emergency vet care. And anyone that has a pet, you know that emergency vet bills are very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. So any sort of contribution, whether it be materials, food, or financial contributions, are always welcome at Four-Footed Friends.
That is true. They are always welcome. And during every day of the week, we are here caring for the animals.
Mm-hmm.
So although we're not open to the public, if someone wants to make a donation, they can just drop it at our front door, and we would be very happy to accept it.
Excellent. And is there a way that people can make a donation of money safely? Do you guys have like I guess an online way to do that? Or
yes, you can go to our webpage, or you can go through Amazon Smile if you happen to be shopping. If you do any shopping and you go through Amazon Smile, in addition to whatever you are donating, we get a monetary donation back from Amazon Smile, too.
That's pretty awesome that you're connected with that program.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
All right, excellent. And what is the web address for Four-Footed Friends?
It is just fourfootedfriends, all spelled out, .org.
Fourfootedfriends.org. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Well, Jeannie, we're just right at the mark here, but I do want to thank you very much for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning, and I hope that Four-Footed Friends has a wonderful new year. Thanks again for joining us, and much success.
Thank you very much. Have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And that is, of course, Jeanne Stelmark, the director of Four-Footed Friends, joining us this morning on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Our interview is presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people.